Hi guys, welcome back to the Shannon Show podcast. Hello if you're new. So today's podcast is going to be a review of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 12 episode 8. Yes, I'm a little bit late with this upload today, but you know, better late than never. And I have some things to say. I have some things to get off my chest about the injustice that has went on in this episode. It's been absolutely shambolic, and there's been more than one injustice in this episode as well. All I gotta say is there's just no justice in the world. Obviously, I am going to get into the injustices near the end of this podcast, so let's just get into it. So obviously last week Britta is gone. You know, her time was up. We knew it was going to come. She lost to Heidi, and Jan is crying. Like, Jan is a mess. But she's trying to claim and say that she's crying because of Britta, because, you know, her and Britta were such close friends. But we all know why she's crying. She's crying because she really wanted to win. She felt like she was the winner and she didn't win. And I don't blame her, because the way we basted her was like so cruel. So the girls congratulate Gigi, and obviously this is her third time winning. Gigi is feeling herself. She's saying she wants to win more. She's saying there's going to be a fourth time, a fifth time, a sixth time. So she's really feeling herself. And then we knew the shade was coming. We knew it was inevitable. And Jackie's the one to throw the first stone. Her fake ass is like, she's happy that Gigi won, but she's surprised that Jan didn't win. Like, girl, say it with your chest. What is this backhanded compliment? I don't respect the shadiness. I just feel like, just say it with your chest. Like, you know, I just didn't think you were the winner. And I can tell Gigi is just like, this motherfucking jealous bitch. And then Jan pipes up. And she's basically saying she's frustrated because, you know, the challenge was her lane. It's what she does. She sings, she dances, she's drama school trained. And she felt like she should have won that challenge and she didn't. Then she starts crying again. And again, she tries to bring up Britta. But as I said, we all know why she's crying. And it's very clear that none of these girls are buying Jan being upset about Britta. Jada's in the confessional like, we know that she's crying because of the challenge. And then after all of that, we see a little snippet of Widow in the confessional, hyping herself up. She's saying that, you know, people are sleeping on her and, you know, before they know it, she's going to sneak up on them, like alluding to the fact that she thinks she's a dark horse, like she's suddenly now going to become above average after being fairly average this whole season. And when she said that, I was like, I don't know about all that. And, you know, by the end of the episode, I was proven right. So we finally get a mini challenge this week. We've been starved of mini challenges, but Rue has decided they're going to give us a mini challenge this week. So the mini challenge this week was a kind of shade-ish centered mini challenge where they all partner up in pairs and they do a little shade skit. And in terms of all of the shade skits, I think Jackie and Gigi were my favorite. Jackie came for Jada's Cardi B. I was living for it. For Gigi, she's shady. Obviously, that thing when she was talking about Crystal needing the season 1 filter, I thought she was going to stop there. And then she said, put a towel over the camera. Gigi, the shade. So obviously Gigi and Jackie won that mini challenge, and I think that was well deserved. The other pairs weren't really that memorable, to be honest. Then Rue reveals the main challenge, which is a challenge we've seen before. It's one of those acting/brand advertisement challenges where they sell you a NAF product. So in the workroom, there's only really like 2 significant moments. We see Heidi revealing that she only made 9K in the whole month of last year. Now, I'm not here to judge anyone's personal finances. You know, my bank account ain't looking that great right now. But I don't know why she decided to tell everyone about it. Obviously, 9K a year, if she is living independently, like, that is like nothing. I'm not sure what the rent is like where she's living at, but that will probably cover your rent for the year. But in terms of food and leisure and stuff like that, that really isn't that much. And when Rue enters the workroom to like talk to all of the queens, she puts Widow on the spot and basically asks her, you know, she won the first challenge, but you know, where has she been in the tops for the remainder of it? And she just says that she doesn't know. And it's very clear that she does know, but she's just in denial. Like, she's been hyping herself up as, you know, this dark horse, when really she's just really been a donkey. Like, she hasn't really been offering much. And I think she knows deep down that she's not keeping up with the girls. So then we see them filming their advertisements. And in terms of what my impressions were solely from the advertisement, in terms of who I thought would be in the top, who I thought would be in the bottom. So going through them all, Jackie, she had a magic carpet merkin idea, had a Middle Eastern theme, tapping into her Persian side, and it was a great concept. And from what we saw in the filming process, it looked like she had thought it out well and executed it well. So I thought from the filming that she could potentially be in the tops. Then we see Gigi selling this Goodnight Bitches fragrance, and she was a bit stiff. It wasn't funny, and I thought maybe she could be in trouble, but I was kind of in two minds because, you know, from what we have seen, even when Gigi looked like she was doing bad, when we saw the edit, she'd usually deliver. So it's kind of 50-50. Like maybe she could turn this into something good, or we could potentially be seeing her in the bottom for the first time. That's what I was thinking after seeing her rehearsal and filming. But what I'm really annoyed about Gigi's concept is that with the whole good night bitch, I thought she would have done something with the whole Cardi B situation. You know how she'd be drugging people and stealing their money. I thought that would have been a very good concept to run with. And in terms of Gigi, she's a young queen. She seems up to date with all the pop culture stuff. So I would have thought she would have thought of something like that. Then we have Jan, who has this Sure Jan spray, and she's very excited, very upbeat, you know, very big, very animated. But she didn't really offer much past this big animation. But I thought it was good enough for a safe spot. At that point, I was thinking. Then we see Jada. We weren't really sure what the product was at this point. Obviously, when we see the edited footage, we find out it's like tuck pants. But from what we had saw, she seemed very charismatic. She seemed very sure of herself. She looked commercial ready. So I instantly thought she's going to be in the tops and potentially the winner of the challenge. And then we see Heidi, which has this hydration cream. And there was personality there, but it wasn't 100%, I think. I feel like it was 80% Heidi. I would have liked to see her take it a bit further. Obviously, the person was telling her to be goofy, to let go. But even when she did let go, I don't think that she let go all the way. So I thought this would be good enough to be safe. And from the quality of the other queens, which overall was not that great, I thought potentially tops considering what was on offer this week. Then we see Widow, and Widow is stiff. She looks lost. She looks like she doesn't want to be here. In the confessional, she's already making up excuses. And I was just like, girl, excuses again. Anyway, we knew we were seeing her in the bottom. Then we see Crystal, who has a magic mullet. Obviously, Rue is always talking about her mullet, so it made sense. But it was a bit everywhere. It was very crazy, very Crystal. And I was 50-50. I thought, if this goes bad, she's going to be in the bottom. But if this goes well, then she could potentially be in the top. Early off the rehearsal and the filmed live footage, I thought the tops would be Jada, Jackie, and possibly Heidi. And I thought the bottoms would be Widow, Gigi, and possibly Crystal. Then back in the workroom, Jan again is just trying to convince us that she was only upset just because of Britta, solely because of Britta. Now she's changed her story. It's just because of Britta. She says that they were so close. They put some picture inserts in there. But in terms of what I saw of them in the show, we didn't really see them hanging out with each other. When Britta was struggling, where was Jan? She wasn't there. So I really don't buy her relationship with Jan. I don't. Then we're taken to the main stage. The guest judge this week is Chaka Khan. She's gorgeous, but I feel like she has been the worst judge this season. She didn't really offer much, to be honest. It kind of felt overall that she didn't really want to be there. She was just there to get her check. Then we see the runway, and the runway theme this look is Black Wedding. And the tops for me this week were Jan. I really love the dress. I really liked the cut of it. The makeup was good. The hair was good. The whole ensemble was nice. I did have a little pet peeve with it. I didn't like the I don't on the back. Obviously, it's a play on the wedding, but the print looked a little bit cheap. I think the dress could have done without, or even her just throwing away the ring. Even her just throwing away the ring would have worked. Then I probably have to say Pervy Pie, her dress. I did like her dress. I did like the shape and the structure of the dress. Wasn't a fan of the crystal that she had on her chest. Again, the Pervy Pie edit was really weird. We didn't see her rehearse, but then we see her on the runway, and then we see her edit for the challenge. Again, I'm not really sure who is in charge of this Pervy Pie edit, but they just need to get it together. Are we meant to see her or are we not? And then Crystal was my next favorite outfit. I really love the concept of like the dead bride. I'm surprised nobody else came up with it, but I'm not surprised that Crystal did it. It's very textbook Crystal. The one pet peeve I had though was the shoes. She had some silver shoes on, and I feel like if anything, if she was gonna have simple shoes on, she should have just had black shoes. But yeah, that's probably that's probably my second favorite look from Crystal. I think her Freddy Krueger look was probably my favorite. But yeah, okay, Crystal, elevating your runway game. Okay, we love to see it. And in terms of the worst outfits, this week I didn't have a worst outfit. I feel like everyone's outfit was decent this week. But if you guys had a worst outfit this week, do let me know. Then we see the full edits of their advertisements. So we have Jackie up first. It was good, it was funny, it sold the project, it was executed well. You can tell that it was well thought out, and I thought this is definitely a certified top 2, and I thought top 2 in contention of being crowned the winner. And she obviously got good critiques from the judges. Then it was Jan. Jan was pretty much what we saw in the rehearsal. There was something there, there was animation, she went big. But again, it was a bit average. It didn't really offer much. I wasn't completely sold on the product. I personally wouldn't buy the product, but I thought it was good enough to be safe. Jan got mixed critiques. She was obviously praised for her looks, but she got red for her performance. The general consensus from the judges is that it was a bit one note. Then we see Jada's, and Jada's was my favorite. It was a classic information advertisement style. It was funny. It actually looked and felt like a real advert. She sold the product to me. I would buy whatever she was selling. And for me, she was the clear winner for me. Of course, she got good critiques. Then it was Gigi. And what we saw in the rehearsal was pretty much what we got in the edit. It was stiff. It had no personality. It wasn't funny. You can tell she was trying to be that sarcastic bitch. There was just no personality to it. It wasn't executed well. And it was overall a very poor job from Gigi. And I was quite disappointed, especially as I was hyping her up last week. I feel like she had the better performance and she had the better outfit. Fight me on it. But anyway, yeah. So I was defending Gigi and I just feel like my girl Gigi, she really let me down. And I was pretty sure that she was going to be in the bottom. You know, critiques, she was red. You know, she was called stiff. And, you know, the critiques were bad. So I was just thinking, yep, Gigi's probably up for the chop. Then we have Pervy Pie. We were actually shown Pervy Pie's edit, which I don't really feel like we needed. But in terms of her performance, it was, you know, okay, barely average. She didn't really offer much in terms of what we have seen from Pervy Pie. I personally would have expected more from Pervy Pie. But, you know, that's what she offered. And I just kind of felt like she was probably going to be safe with that performance. In terms of the critiques, it was pretty much that they found it a bit lackluster. They didn't find it funny and they expected more from her. Then we see Heidi's edit. And it was a decent edit. I mean, it was funny. But again, like I said, it's clear that she held back. It wasn't 100% funny Heidi. It was definitely 80%. It wasn't completely sold on the product. And even though I thought it was a decent advertisement, I felt like the win was going to be between Jackie and Jada. And then we see Widow's edit. And her edit is just bad. She's stiff. She's flat. And she looks like she doesn't want to be there. And we already know that she's in the bottom. The critiques were bad, but the judges were even going easy on her being nice. You know, she starts crying. She's getting emotional. She's like, Shaka Khan, I wanted to do better in front of you. And I was just kind of thinking, I don't feel sorry for you because you reap what you sow. Because she was really bitter. She was saying like really out of pocket things to Jackie, saying that she wishes that she fails and she falls so she can laugh at her. Now look what your bad energy has gotten you. What you put out is what you will get back, honey. And like I called it on my prior podcast, I knew that bad energy was going to come back to back. Then we see Crystal, and Crystal's edit actually worked really well. It was classic Crystal. It's classic Crystal. It gives you what you want. And I was partially sold on her product. So I thought that. And then after that, obviously they were all on stage. They all give their critiques together because they're at that point in the stage where the numbers are dwindling. And Rue decides she wants to be messy and ask the girls who they think should go home. Every single girl except for Widow says Widow. And I feel like Widow herself knows they're going to pick her and that they should pick her. you know? People are saying, you know, oh, I love you, but, you know, I've got to pick you. That was a good Crystal impression. And she's just like, it's okay. It's okay. And then obviously now it's just kind of like, well, who's Widow going to pick? I thought Widow was going to pick Gigi. I thought she would have loved the chance to throw Gigi under the bus. And I feel like next worst was Gigi. But she was like the person who I feel like advertisement was as bad as mine, which is again a bit of a stretch because yours is actually abysmal, was Jan's. And I was surprised that she chose Jan because I feel like her commercial wasn't the best, but it definitely was not the worst. So then the judges deliberate and then they bring the girls back. And in terms of who I thought was going to be in the tops, who I predicted, I thought it was going to be between Jada and Jackie for the win. And in terms of the bottoms, I thought for sure Widow was going to be in the bottom, and I thought that Gigi was going to be in the bottom with her. So then the verdicts is revealed, and they say Heidi, Crystal, Jada and Jackie are safe, but then they reveal that Heidi won and Jada and Jackie are clapping, but I know they're both looking they were both thinking, what the fuck? Just like I was, what the actual fuck? I feel like if Jackie had won, I still would have been bothered that Jada didn't win, but the fact that none of them won and Heidi got it, I'm so confused by Rue's decision because I just feel like Heidi's commercial wasn't even that great and it wasn't even that funny. I'm highly confused and I just feel like they're disrespecting my girl Jada out here because she was the clear winner. Then Gigi is saved and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Gigi was clearly in the bottom. Clearly in the bottom. And the thing is, she wasn't even bottom 3. She was like I think she was number 4 even. I'm confused. I can only think of, obviously Gigi's an asset. Widow was clearly going to be in the bottom. They knew Widow was going to send Gigi home. So they said, nah, we're just going to save Gigi because, you know, she's been great and consistent. We'll let her off this week. Gigi definitely should have been in the bottom. Then it's Pervy Pie, Jan and Widow in the bottom 3. And I thought it was going to be between Widow and Pervy Pie. I was like, yes, this is a perfect opportunity to get Pervy Pie out of the house. Because out of Pervy Pie and Jan, I felt like at least Jan was offering a clear product. I felt like Pervy Pie's edit was very lazy. And then obviously they announced Widow and Jan in the bottom. And again, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? And I'm just highly confused. And I just feel like they really sabotaged Jan. They've really dumped her in it. She didn't have the best performance, but she was definitely not the worst. And I just feel like they set Jan up. They really set Jan up for the slaughter. And just this treatment that she's been getting these last few episodes, but a bit, has just been cruel. Absolutely cruel. It's Widow and Jan lip syncing. And they're both strong lip syncers. We know Widow can perform. But deep down, I knew Widow is the better performer. So I thought maybe it could come down to the song. Shaka Khan song. Shaka Khan is a very soulful singer. So when the song came on, I was just like, I'm not sure if Jan's going to be able to deliver, to be honest. At the same time, in terms of what we had seen from Widow, we've only seen her perform to upbeat music. Some people, they can lip sync well to upbeat, funky music where they could do all of these power moves. But in terms of songs that require soul and standing still most of the time, fall flat. So I thought maybe it could be even battle. I guess we just have to see. But very early on, I knew Widow was winning. I knew Jan was being sent home. I feel like Widow is a performer. That is her strong point. She can do slow songs. She can do fast songs. Jan, in the beginning, she was fiddling way too much with her dress. Not as much as Rock'em Sura, but when she started fiddling with her dress, I was just like, girl, what are you doing? This is quite a soulful song. You don't need to be ripping your dress off for it. And when she finally gets her dress off, she's kind of just everywhere on the stage. She's trying to do big power moves and it just looks very messy. And I was just like, Jan, I know you're going home. So I feel like Widow clearly won that. Like, there's no doubt that Widow won that lip sync. And obviously Widow is saved and Jan is sent home. And honestly, I just feel very bad for Jan. I feel like I feel like Ru has really fucked Jan around, and I'm surprised that she took it as well as she did. I really have to commend her for the way that she took it. You can see that she was upset, but I could also see that she was kind of over the situation in terms of she felt like the judges were sleeping on her. Like, she saw her being sent home happening. That's the kind of general feel I felt from her outtake video. I would have preferred to have Jan on the show than Widow. I feel like Jan definitely had a lot more to offer. I feel like she definitely could have gotten to the final. And I think she definitely has a very promising drag queen career. I'd love to see her in All Stars. She was a great performer. She had a great personality. She gave us the most iconic moment this season. So yeah, I'm wishing her all of the best. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've lost respect for Ru after this episode, because the decisions this episode have been absolutely shambolic. Absolutely shambolic. But I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. Do you feel like Jan did the worst and deserved to be? But yeah, I'd be interested to hear from you guys. Did anyone think that Jan won the lip sync? I'd be interested to hear that. And what do you guys think of the verdicts, the wins? Do you feel like Heidi was the rightful winner? Do you feel like Jan should have been up lip syncing? And if you don't think she should have been up lip syncing, who do you think should have been up? I've already said I think it should have been Gigi. But what do you guys think? And why do you feel like that person that you think should have been lip syncing wasn't lip syncing? People were living for Jan, Jada's, Gigi's and Crystal's runway this week. I think Jada had a nice runway outfit. It wasn't my favourite. Gigi's runway was nice, but it wasn't my favourite this week either. People are saying their top 4 is Jackie, Gigi, Jan and Crystal. So alluding to the fact that they want Widow to go next week. You know what? I feel like Widow could lip sync her way into even the final, I think. She's strong enough. But the only person I think could defeat Widow, from what I have seen, is Heidi. People are saying it should have been a double Shantae. Ooh, interesting. Who agrees that it should have been a double Shantae? I feel like Widow definitely did her thing. I feel like regardless of what you feel about Widow, you should give her props. She did that. She did a good performance, in my opinion anyway. People are happy that Heidi won the challenge, but upset that Jan left. People are here for Heidi getting the praise that she deserves. I mean, I'm here for the praise. She did a good job, but she was not the best. I don't care. She shouldn't have won. That she was not the best. I don't care what anyone says. I don't think she should have won. People are tweeting the nice try Jan meme again this week. People are saying it should have been a double win between Heidi and Crystal. Heidi and Crystal. What? I don't know about that. Jan should have been safe, and it should have been Pervy Pie and Widow in the bottom. And saying that Pervy Pie deserved to be in the bottom because she was shit at selling pie. I mean, yes, the commercial, like, you're selling pie and you're shit at it. Like, I don't understand. I feel like Pervy Pie has definitely gotten very comfortable. Well, obviously she's not in the competition anymore, but she's gotten into a place where she felt very comfortable giving mediocre performances. People are saying that Jada was robbed. People are saying that they loved she deserved to be sent home. Interesting. People are saying they don't understand how the judges didn't clock Heidi's wig. And I've just viewed a picture, and yes, the wig and the makeup, it looks like she was out in the sun and got sunburn between the scalp and the wig. People who think that Jan was robbed last week are saying that they are now even more pissed off that they sent her home this week. That is pretty much the rundown of Twitter right now, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this episode and your thoughts on my review. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you have, don't forget to press that notification bell and press all so you'll know when the next podcast is up. Till next time, guys. Bye.